Hello and welcome to Focus. For those people that are new, the idea of Focus is that it's a short video where we focus down on a subject around youth work. Each week I invite a guest to come and share something that's on their heart or floating around in their head. This week I'm really excited because I've got Rob back.
Hooray!
Back. Yay! So Rob, if you'd like to introduce yourself, what you do, and just anything that pops to mind would be great. Go for it.
Of course. So my name's Rob. You may remember me from such things as Selston Baptist. I was there for about 10 years, but now I've been exiled. No, I moved away. I went on to something different, and I moved to Coventry with my wife Jenny, and we now have a little puppy called Daisy. And I was a member of SBC for about 10 years or so, but moved away to pastures new. So I work for a charity called the Student Christian Movement. It's been running since 1889, but I've been there for the last 3 years. And I'm the Midlands Regional Development Worker and 16 to 19s lead, which is quite a mouthful. But essentially what it means is that I look after all of the students and chaplains and universities within the Midlands. So SEM is a charity that supports students during university. We go by the strapline of progressive student-led faith in action. So we're big on social justice and student leadership, so much so our trustees are all students. So my bosses are all younger than me, which is brilliant because I think they're all brilliant and lovely and wonderful. And my job looks like a lot of different things on a lot of different days. I go to the festivals and do that sort of brand awareness stuff, and then I do other things like leading peace workshops, and really our big push is looking on how do we ground faith within people. So it looks like not just what they do on Sundays, but it's what they do during their days, their weeks, their months, their future careers. How do they find their vocation? So it stretches the whole way, but as I said, my priority is the 16 to 19s.
Yeah. So today, this is from a conversation that we had before, but we were discussing milestones. Do you just want to sort of explain what that is, what you mean by that term, and also how you feel it's been affected by lockdown?
Yeah, of course. So milestones are the sort of thing that we refer to as those significant moments in our lives that may have been missed out on during COVID. So those significant milestones, your 18th birthday, the time you learnt to drive your car, the first time you went out with your friends to the pub, all of those moments in your life that we can all refer to and probably have really nice memories of. Those times where we were like, oh yeah, I remember going out for the first time when I turned 18, or oh, I remember when I passed my test and all my friends came around. COVID has basically really jumbled all of that up. And we've missed out on those milestones for basically a whole year. For a lot of our students going off to university in September, they didn't have those real breakthrough moments where they could finish with that almost group of friends that they had and say goodbye and have those hugs and loves and memory-making moments that they sometimes would have had in sort of August or September. And then they have those big moments where they move away and socialize with this big new group of people. And all of that has been stripped away because COVID means you can't really do it anymore, which is terrible, which is sad, because I think all of us will look back on those memories that we have as older people who managed to do those moments without the breakups, without having to isolate in our homes for basically the last year. And so we need to really find out a way of making sure that we recognize our milestones that we are hitting, whether it's our birthdays, whether it's the fact that we managed to revise for an exam, the fact that we survived a week, which is sometimes a big important thing to say, or even if it's just making sure that we are celebrating friendships or celebrating other people's birthdays. Or even little things like the fact that we can't go on holiday together, and we would usually have our yearly family holiday, but those have gone. And I think for the last year or so, for many, it feels like a Groundhog Day. It feels like we're just doing repeats of the same things over and over and over again. That's what a milestone is, those significant moments in our lives where we can go, oh, I remember that moment. I remember this moment. This was really key to my life. And you look back on them fondly. So yeah, the question is, how do we mark milestones still when they don't exist anymore?
It's really cool. And as you were talking, I was thinking, where do we see this in scripture? And I was thinking when they sort of went through the sea, and then they took a couple of rocks and just put them there. And I know it's actually a rock, a stone, but it was a physical thing that reminded them of what happened and where they'd sort of travelled to. So it was like an underlining, but also a memory. And then I started thinking about Sabbath, and we see that as a point of rest, and we're all like, oh no, I don't want to rest. But almost that becomes a milestone in our week as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Have you got any ideas or any suggestions that would help address part of this challenge, or something I can bring in?
Yeah, of course. So despite COVID, we have to do our best to try and make, to break up the monotony in ways, to make the milestones, the pile of stones in that Old Testament scripture, a priority. We need to try and really make effort towards them. And we should still be looking to make the effort to our friends and family and support networks, despite the fact that we're not seeing them perhaps as much as we maybe would have liked to have done. And the monotony of the last sort of year is that we can fall into this sort of this position of kind of just going along the lazy river and just trying to get through the weeks, and that's fine. Do what you've got to do, but also, you know, we are in this position now where we can't just keep putting off this sort of the inevitable almost, but putting off those places where we would have normally been celebrating. So some of the things that we think about is, you know, how can we make people feel special on those days that exist? So as a SCM, we organised a graduation week, and for all of our students that were going to be missing out on graduation, and we put on a host of different events, loads of little bits and bobs that they could get involved in, that was organised by us, but helped people just feel like they were attached to something bigger. Memories are so important. In youth work, we talk about learning not just being through academic process, but through the learning of experiences. You know, the reason we take young people away to things like activity weekends or things like that is because it's really hard to teach someone how to have confidence in a youth room or like a place where you're just sort of telling you, well, Jesus says have confidence in yourself, and they're like, ugh. But you take them to a Jacob's ladder or something, and you spur them on and you encourage them to go up the ladder. They have this experience they will never forget, because they're like, I had this moment where I had this group of people that I trust supporting me, hopefully, and encouraging me to go further than I ever did. And so because those experiences are being taken away a little bit, we need to really think about what experiences can I give young people. It doesn't have to be young people. We can do this to our family. We can do this to a wider thing, to make those little moments really significant, and a learning opportunity and a teaching opportunity and a growing opportunity. There isn't really like a really set way that I can say would support this. I think it involves us being really creative, not sort of sitting on our laurels and letting every week become the same, but finding a variety of different ways that we can just make days a bit more special.
Yeah, I think that also the flip side to that is, actually, I'm aware of families, church families, who have done like camping in the back garden, had a bonfire, made a real effort for somebody's birthday. And sometimes we rush through these things and we think, oh, we'll just do them. But actually, they're really key milestones that have just happened naturally because you want to be together as a family. So I think almost, yes, definitely concentrate on it, and it is something that we need to know, but also value those things that you do, whether it is toasting a marshmallow or all of you watching a film together, which is, whether it's a good film or a rubbish thing, these little things. I think as we move out of this, the things that we will remember will be those milestones. So it will be the camping, the fire. It won't be the drag of not quite sure what day it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, just as parents, be really encouraged that you are doing these things, and they are really, really good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You work for SEM. Is there any information, resources that you as an organisation have to help support young people and families?
Yeah, so we have absolutely loads. As you say, because it's student-led, it kind of requires the students to take up the mantle of taking things on, which is great, because you as family, as parents, as friends can sort of provide the opportunities, but then it's up for them to take them up. And one of the things that we do offer at the moment is a gift membership pack. It's £15 for those. Yeah, so SEM works on a membership basis. So we have all the students sign up and they get involved within the movement and all that kind of stuff. And with this little gift membership pack, it gives them 3 years membership, but then like little holding cross and some like advice and going to uni guide and all of this stuff. It's like a nice little contained bit of stuff that you can give to your future wannabe student, aka child or friend, and say, here's this, it's got loads of interesting stuff on it, you can sign up if you want to, you can just, it's in your hands. So we offer that, and that can be bought off our website, which is www.movement.org.uk. I'll try and put some information at the end. Yeah, I'd love it if you had people going off to university. These are really good little tools to get people.
Thank you very much, Rob, for chatting with us about Milestones, and I hope you parents have been encouraged and inspired by some of the tips and advice. And yeah, thank you very much. Next week we'll be chatting with somebody else as well. So for now, God bless and see you soon. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.